Hello, thank you for joining me today. I'm making the second soap of our holiday series for 2020. Today, this is our snowman soap. So we're pretty excited to get that on the road. I'm just poking idly at my coconut milk powder that I've put into my oils, and I'm going to really quickly stick blend those in so that I know that they're not going to create any lumps or anything. I always like to burp my stick blender. They call it burping, which I think is fun, so I like calling it burping. So this soap is all white, and we're going to put some glitter in. We're going to put a lot of titanium dioxide in, and it accelerates. So this is our lye water. We've already mixed this up, of course, and it's cooled down to room temperature. We pretty much always soap at room temperature because, like, why not? You know, if it's gonna give us a little extra time to work and things like that, it's kind of helpful in that way, so we tend to do that. So I'm just putting the lye solution in. I'm just gonna stick blend that really briefly. I just want it to emulsify. Oh yeah, I think I felt it happen. Sometimes you can kind of feel it emulsify. It sounds weird, but it sort of just like feels a certain way, if that makes sense. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to mix as much as we can by hand because I really don't want this to go too quick on me. So first things first, the glitter is actually, most of it is actually going inside the soap. So I'm really excited. This is Twinkle Blue glitter. It's from Windy Point Soap Supplies. And I'm gonna put the vast majority of it inside the soap and just sprinkle a little bit on top because you know, it's me, that's why. So just save like maybe that much, just a tiny bit. And then the rest I'm going to stir in. I'm also going to stir in the titanium dioxide, which I've dispersed in water because it will dissolve better that way in the actual soap batter. And last but not least is the fragrance. We're actually using another fragrance from that same supplier that I mentioned before. I don't think they're in business anymore, but it's called Mary Berry. And this is a fragrance that basically, it smells like if you had taken a cedar tree and you put some, like, you know, cranberries or something in it. That's kind of what it smells like. It's this like very festive sort of, like, definitely wintry smell. So we thought we would use it for this one. And we hope, since this is a snowman soap, that it does not discolor. However, very foolishly, we have decided to give it a whirl without testing first. So we'll see if the gods smile upon us, or if we're going to have to remake this soap in a couple of days. And I think that's about as much as I can do by hand. So now I'm going to switch to the stick blender real briefly, just long enough to make sure that the titanium dioxide doesn't really stir in properly unless you stick blend it. That's just sort of a reality of using the white pigment. So I'm gonna stick blend it, and you'll see it'll get like so much whiter. I'm kind of thinking I might want a little bit more TD. I wonder if that fragrance, you know what, I think I do need more titanium dioxide. I think that fragrance oil might discolor a bit. Okay, you get to watch as I scramble to save my soap batter, which is like, you know what, this is the reality of making soap. You see all these, you know, soap makers on YouTube or whatever, if they have a perfect time of it always, that's because they're not showing you the times when they muck it up, quite frankly. Which, like, it's nice when they do show you. Some people do show you, and I love that. Because it's like, oh, great. This person who's, like, extremely professional and experienced at this still has problems just like me. Okay, if you're wondering where I ran off to, it's because I usually keep a little bit of distilled water in just like it's actually a baking squeezy. But we always use distilled water, so I had actually used the rest of it to mix up my titanium dioxide a little bit earlier. So I had to refill my little squeezy. That's where I ran off to. I'm just gonna stick blend it really quick, and then we're gonna start molding and putting our embeds and everything. Oh yeah, that's a better color. That's definitely, I'm confident that this will look pretty white in the last soap. Not like, you know, the kind of snow at the end. I don't know who's watching, if you get snow where you are, but at the end of the season, basically all these trucks have gone by and put salt and sand and everything so that we don't fall and break our necks. And at the end of the season, of course, because they come and they plow the snow and it kind of gets pushed up on the snowbanks, you have these snowbanks that are like covered in gravel and salt and all this like nastiness. I don't want my snowman to look like that kind of snow. I want him to look like, you know, fresh snow that has just fallen. So I feel more confident that he's going to look like that now. So that's good. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to actually, you know what? I'll let that set just slightly. I actually made this embed the other day. So if you joined us for our what was it, Winter Wonderland soap, I stole a little bit of the batter from that soap to do this soap, because I'm going to be sticking this in sort of as like a carrot nose of the snowman, because snowmen have carrot noses. Like, I think that's like pretty self-explanatory. But this particular embed, because I'm putting it in, I want the carrot to be sort of pointed down like this. So because I'm putting it in like that, I have to have like semi-thick soap on the bottom so it doesn't just sort of sink right down to the bottom. And then we have other embeds, which Eli made. He just sort of made some, this is really ashy. So when you color soap with, this was probably just activated charcoal. But when you color, I can't get this open. When you color, there we are. When you color soap with activated charcoal, it does create a beautiful black, but it does get real ashy if you don't spray it with rubbing alcohol like religiously. I think I'm just gonna do the eyes because I think that'll be cuter. It'd be more like an abstract or like cartoony snowman. And there's all different sizes of these canes, but what I'm essentially gonna do is pick out some of the like rounder ones, and those are gonna be his eyeballs. And I would just sort of lay them like this side by side so that I can kind of create eyeballs for him. And I'm just gonna grab the mold. We'll put these embeds away for a sec. I'm just gonna grab the mold and pour, I mean, maybe half of it? Like a fair amount, because, you know, his eyes and nose are gonna go fairly close to each other. Okay guys, I was ruthless trimming this carrot. It's like a third of the size it used to be, but honestly, I think it's gonna fit better. So it now looks like this. It's just sort of like a triangle piece. I'm gonna put it facing down. It's exactly the right size because, not to toot my own horn, but it's exactly the right size because when I took the soap batter from the Winter Wonderland soap, I poured it into one of the corners of a mold that is exactly like this. So I basically used the mold that I'm using today. So that's working out well for me. So I'm just going to cover a little bit more with some more of this soap batter. And I gotta tell you, like, I think it's a real possibility that at least at some point in their career, every soaper has like kind of gotten a little high off of the fumes of the fragrance oil. It is so strong when you're making the soap. It's like wickedly strong, but this one is so good. It smells amazing. It's really nostalgic for me because it smells like, we used to have a like a cedar hedge outside my house as a kid, and it's making me think of like that in Christmas time when I would, like, you know, we weren't like religious people, but we celebrated like Christmas sort of like culturally, if that makes sense. And basically, yeah, like it's exactly like the smell that I remember around that time of year. So I'm getting kind of nostalgic about like the cedar in this. It's definitely got cedar. Like, can confirm 100% there was cedar in this fragrance because I can smell it for sure. Like, just thinking back when I would make snowman when I was a kid. That's what I'm sort of trying to aim for. This one could work. I'm gonna have to split it though. Here's hoping. Oh yeah, that's pretty well. And is that a better, see, I didn't maybe split it the right length though. Will that fit in? I gotta split a tiny bit off the end here. And like this is basically, you know, how precise our soap making is. Just in case like you thought we had it super duper figured out, like there's trial and error. That is a thing that happens when you're making like soap, yes, but like also any other kind of like craft, art, anything like that. Like you're always gonna have experimentation and stuff like that, right? So nothing to worry about. So is that gonna fit? Yes. Oh, I split that almost exactly perfect size. Okay, so now I'm just going to put the rest of the soap over, and mostly I can do that just by pouring, but I am gonna have to scrape out the bowl. And I'm doing this lefty so that, you know, I want you to be able to see me pouring, that's all. For me, it's always the pours. It's always the pours. That's like my favorite part. So I would never hurt you that way, you know, not showing you the pour. That's just, that would be grounds for us not being friends anymore, quite frankly. So I wouldn't do that to you. Yeah, so this is taking a sec because I am doing it lefty, but I think I might actually have a bit too much soap, but we'll just sort of like raise the top a bit. I'm okay with that, you know? Just kind of, I don't know if you heard my voice kind of quavering because I was like, but one of Eli's favorite things is when he's like, you know, got the cat sort of like sitting on him or something, which actually, so Abby is not, okay, Abby is our Tubby Tabby. That's why we named the soap company what we did. And she is super magnificent and super not friendly. So she basically doesn't do like the whole human affection thing, doesn't do it. One second, I'm gonna tap it really hard. And what that does is it sort of tries to get, like if there's air pockets, it'll kind of try to settle the soap into those air pockets. And anyway, so Abby doesn't really do the whole like affection thing, but she will with Eli because she likes Eli best. This is just, you know, anyone who has a cat, you know, this is a reality. Like they decide that they have favorites and like, that's the thing. And I am not her favorite. That's okay. I've come to peace with it. But if she's sitting on Eli, one of his very favorite things is when he'll start laughing or something and she like might meow, or like if he picks her up, she doesn't love when he picks her up, so like he might pick her up and then she'll meow and then he'll laugh and she'll just go like, like sort of, and he finds it the funniest thing on earth. That's like his favorite thing. Okay, so that's about it. I'm just gonna spray the top. It's got its glitter, it's got its embeds. It's just a simple soap, you know, don't have to make it too complicated. The holidays are busy enough, you know. It has an amazing smell. I think the smell is sort of the star of this soap, so I'm excited about that. But I'm going to leave this for about a day or two, and then I'm going to come back and cut it once it sets. I might leave it a little bit longer because we didn't put sodium lactate in this one. We usually do put that in our soaps. But I will see you in a moment for the cut. We got some nice sparkles. That's real sparkly, so that's exciting. Okay. Oh, and I should have shown you, I might put gloves on, but before I do, I have my Halloween nails, which it kind of highlights what soaping is like, where you have to like, because we cure our soaps for at least a month before we sell them. So the idea of having holiday soaps in time for the holidays means, you know, you soap with Halloween nails and so on. So, but with the magic of film, now I have my gloves on. Because this soap is fairly soft, I don't want to do something like what I just did where I stuck my nail in it. So I'm going to give it a little chopperoo. Oh yeah, so those eyeball embeds are quite a bit harder than the rest, so it's kind of struggling, so I might actually not chop all the rest, but how cute is this little snowman face? It's kind of the best. I kind of love it. So, okay, well, I think I'm going to leave it a little bit longer actually because, you know, I don't want to mess up the face of the soap. I don't know if you can tell, but it kind of like, how do I explain it? It's sort of like paused there and created kind of a bump. So I don't know if you can see in the camera. I'm trying to like turn it different ways so you can maybe see from different angles or something, but there's a little bump here anyway. So we're gonna want to let that do its thing a little bit longer maybe. Okay, so we're back. It's a day later and we're gonna try again to cut this soap so that it's not super duper soft. And I'm really, really glad that it didn't discolor a ton. So it's still catching a little bit, but you can see it's not nearly as bad as the first one. I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but it's really, really got deep grooves when it got cut, whereas this one's quite a lot better. And I'm so excited. You can see the little glitter particles in it. It's gonna be super great. So I'm excited. And it looks kind of like I got this one right on the break where the canes were, so that one might actually, we might plane it a little bit just to make the eyeball show up a bit better. And I was saying to Eli, these remind me almost more of penguins because, I guess because I put the nose straight down, so maybe in future batches I would put it like a little bit to the side or something so it looks, I don't know. I don't know what you guys, what do you think? Does it look snowman-y or does it look penguin-y? I don't know. It looks to me almost like a penguin face because the carrot, when it's pointed straight down, it kind of looks more like a beak to me. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. It didn't discolor. Oh, thank goodness. I guess we haven't angered the soap gods or whatever. It's turned out in our favor. The odds have been ever in our favor, as it were. And I'm gonna cut just a tiny bit off the back of this one. So yeah, these are our little, I'm gonna bring them over for a close-up. These are our little snowman soaps. And look how cute they are. Are these not the cutest little guys? So these are gonna be, again, with our holiday release. We're gonna have these available in time for the holidays, and you'll be able to grab them with, you know, there was the Winter Wonderland you already saw me make and so on. So that's the snowman soap and we're super excited about it. And we hope that you enjoyed watching me make this, and make sure you come back to join us for the next video. It'll help out to do that if you subscribe. And if you like this video, then please give it a like because that helps us out too. And we'll see you back at the next one. Bye!